I've made several trips to Alaska to see the northern lights and have always found that collection of colors to be fascinating. Of course, they're always changing. They're predominantly green, but in a really bright set of them, you'll sometimes see a little red on the top, and sometimes the green fades to white toward the base, and then there may even be a line of kind of a pinkish purple at the very base. So I've always thought it would be nice to make a soap that emulated that look. I've tried it a couple times using column pores. They were nice soaps, but they didn't really look like an Aurora. So I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to use a kind of a drop swirl, and we'll just see what happens here. As I usually do, I calculated my recipe on soapcalc.com. This is a 68 ounce mold, but I'm only using 66 ounces because I don't want it to be quite full so I can do the swipes easily. I'm using lavender 4042 essential oil as well as lavandin essential oil in equal quantities. That should give a very nice scent and at the same time not accelerate the reaction of the soap, so it should give me a lot of time to work. I'm going to try to pour these in the order that you would see a very colorful aurora looking from the horizon upward. So the lowest one would be yellowish green. This is made with Vibrance Yellow and Vibrance Green from Nurture Soap. And then we get a brighter green. This is a mixture of Vibrance Green and Alpine Green. And then a white stripe. This is Winter White Mica. And then a thin dark red stripe. This is Wine Red. And then a hot pink stripe. This is Wine Red mixed with Electric Bubblegum. All of these micas have been from Nurture Soap except the Electric Bubblegum, which is from Brambleberry. And then finishing the colors with a kind of a purpley wine color. So this is Wine Red with some Color Joy purple mica added to it. And then the base color, the black of the sky, is done with activated charcoal. And I made a mistake one time when I was trying to use titanium dioxide for white and realized that if you put it just dry into an already mixed soap batter, you'll end up with speckles of white rather than it coloring the batter in general. I'm going to try to use that to my advantage today and create stars in the sky by just throwing some dry titanium dioxide into the already black charcoal mixture and hope it doesn't mix in very well. I have my lye and my oils right at room temperature, hoping they'll work very slowly here. I'm going to blend this to emulsion. As always, I have a pitcher of warm water that I keep my stick blender in. Now, I'm going to use different amounts for these different colors. So for the pale green, that's going to be a fairly wide stripe. For the dark green, about the same. For the white, maybe half that much. For the dark red, just a small amount. For the bright hot pink, a little more, but still less than I used for the white. For the purple, maybe about the same amount as I used for the white. And then the black is going to be the remainder of the batter, which is by far most of it. this black from a big beaker, so I've got a little bit of a pouring spout. So I have the mold propped up on this side, so everything will run that way. And I'm going to do this like the slatted pour loaf soap. And this is obviously a slab mold. Never done this kind of a pour before in a slab mold, so we'll see what happens. For a very thin layer of red, a slightly thicker layer of the hot pink, and a thicker layer of the purple. This is going to be the tricky part, to get black above that, especially in the first few pours, I think. Didn't leave much, just see. I forgot my titanium dioxide, so this dark sky will not have any stars in it this time. That stripe is the look I was looking for. Bit. black is thickening quite a lot. Don't want to use it all up this time. Because that first stripe kind of got buried, I'm going to doctor it up a little bit. Still a bit left. In actual auroras, you sometimes see areas that are much more red than others. So I kind of like the idea that I'm getting some blobs of red here rather than a neat stripe, even though that was technically an accident. The purple also can be not even across the sky, so I think having a little bit of unevenness there may also be useful. Okay, I think I'm ready to start with that. So I'm going to start out with the fat end of a chopstick, and I'm going to switch to a much thinner skewer later. I'm only going to stripe it in one direction. This area down here is so black, and that's going to be almost entire bars, and so I'm going to fix that with some more color. I've got a little more batter left, so why not? that's all of that. This part won't look very much like an Aurora, but at least it may be interesting. Because that's going to be a different row of bars of soap, it won't be noticeable in the Aurora part. Well, that's not really what I was planning on, but I guess it's interesting. Here are the finished Aurora soaps. I don't think they look very much like an actual Aurora, but they're interesting at least. And they achieved some of the look that I was looking for. I still don't have a good way to really make those lines that an actual Aurora makes. These are much too curvy and too broad too, but it's pretty anyway. And then these are bars from that end that got colored differently from the rest of the soap. I think they also turned out pretty well.